Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha. Jaya Girivaradhari. Vallabha. Jaya Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha. Jaya Girivaradhari. Jaya Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana. Jaya Vrajanaranjana. Jaya Yashodanandana. Jaya Vrajanaranjana. Jaya Krishna-naranjana. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha. Jaya Girivaradhari. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Yashodanandana. Jaya Vrajanaranjana. Jaya Vrajanaranjana. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Kunja Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Radha Madhava ki jai. Hare Krishna. No, what is it? This one? Hare Krishna. Thank you for being here. We are gonna recite from Srimad Bhagavatam, so we can sing together Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Thank you. Okay. So we are reading from fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 22, Prithu Maharaj's meeting with the Kumaras, verse 31. Okay. Brasyati anum sritim chittam Jnana Brahmsa Smritikshayem Tadrodam Kavaya Prahur Atmapanavamatmanaha Briyasyati anusmritischittam Jnana Brahmsa Smritikshaye Tadrodam Kavaya Prahur Atmapanavamatmanaha Brasyati anusmritim chittam Jnana Brahmsa Smritikshaye Tadrodam Kavaya Prahur Atmapanavamatmanaha. Please. Briyasyati anusmritischittam Jnana Brahmsa smritim shayem Tadrodam Kavaya Prahur Atmapanavamatmanaha. It is. Or, yeah. Bryasyatyanusmritischittam Jnana Brahmsa smritikshayem Tadrodam Kavaya Prahur Atmapanavamatmanaha. Bryasyatyanusmritischittam Jnana Brahmsa smritikshaye Tadrodam Kavaya Prahur Atmapanavamatmanaha. Prasatyana smrutim chittam Tadrodam Kavaya Prahur Atmapanavamatmanaha. Bryasyatyanusmritischittam Brahmsa smritikshayem Shatrodam Kavaya Prahur Atmapanavamatmanaha. Thank you. Vielen Dank. Gibt es Übersetzung für unsere Historikun, bitte? Oder? Nein, sie spricht auf Englisch oder so. Ich will auf Englisch sprechen. Tut mir leid. Ok, später, ok, kein Problem. Allora, bene. Brihasyati becomes destroyed. Anusmritihi, constantly thinking. Chittam, consciousness. Jnana Brahmsaha, bereft of real knowledge. Smriti Kshaye, by destruction of remembrance. Tadrodam, choking that process. Yeah, it is indeed, it is. Okay, choking that process. That's Tadrodam. Kavayaha, great learned scholars. Prahu, have opined? Do you say opined? It's in Old English, yes. Opine. I think it's they had an opinion about this. Yeah. We will feel. Yes, we will figure out. Atma of the soul. Apanavaham, destruction. Sorry. Very nice. Apa is water, they tell me here. So, apanavam, destruction. Okay, we will check this information. Atmanaha, of the soul. Okay. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When one deviates from his original consciousness, he loses the capacity to remember his previous position or recognize his present one. When remembrance is lost, all knowledge acquired is based on a false foundation. When this occurs, learned scholars consider that the soul is lost. Purport: the living entity or the soul is ever existing and eternal. It cannot be lost, but learned scholars say that it is lost when actual knowledge is not working. That is the difference between animals and human beings. According to less intelligent philosophers, animals have no soul, but factually animals have souls. Due to the animals' gross ignorance, however, it appears that they have lost their souls. Without a soul, a body cannot move. That is the difference between a living body and a dead body. When the soul is out of the body is called dead. The soul is said to be lost when there is no proper knowledge exhibited. Our original consciousness is Krishna consciousness because we are part and parcel of Krishna. When this consciousness is misguided and one is put into the material atmosphere, which pollutes the original consciousness, one thinks that he is a product of the material elements. Thus, one loses his real remembrance of his position as part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, just as a man who sleeps forgets himself. In this way, when the activities of proper consciousness are checked, all the activities of the lost soul are performed on a false basis. At the present moment, human civilization is acting on a false platform of bodily identification. Therefore, it can be said that the people of the present age have lost their souls, and in this respect, They are no better than animals. So we can recite Homa Yajna Timirandasya. Homa Yajna Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha E Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishavanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. How are you? Vigits. It's been a while. I'm very happy to be here with you. I was a little in separation, little sick leave, let's say, but good. I'm back. All good. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, much better. The weather also getting better, hopefully. Warmer, yes. It's getting warmer, yes. So this is an amazing verse, and I will read it again. If you like, translation. Wir lesen noch einmal die Übersetzung von den Vers. Okay. Aber vielleicht später die Übersetzung kommt für Kishori. Yes. Okay, so the verse says, when one deviates from his original consciousness, okay, Kishori, yeah, du willst perfect. Ja, wir lesen noch einmal, aber okay, dann, ja, fast wir sind fertig. Okay, so yes, I was saying, we just read the translation again. When one deviates from his original consciousness, he loses the capacity to remember his previous position or recognize his present one. When remembrance is lost, all knowledge acquired is based on a false foundation. When this occurs, learned scholars consider that the soul is lost. Joy. So, I would like to thank, the Simhachalam community temple, because with this little service, I got really absorbed yesterday researching, because this is a wonderful topic. And there is in particular a class that I watched from Danavir Goswami Maharaj that he gave in 2013 in Czech on this verse, exactly on this verse. And it is really, I will follow what Maharaj said because it's really on point. And then I can tell you some of my also what came to the little head when I saw this verse, because this verse is speaking about many topics that are very important. And so, first of all, I wanted to ask you, you remember who is speaking this verse? We are in chapter 22, Prithu Maharaj's meeting with the Kumaras. Wer spricht diese verse? Thank you. Yes, that's Sanatan Kumar. And yes, so he's talking to our Prithu Maharaj. After, you remember the situation more or less? No, okay, I can tell you, no problem. So the Kumaras come to see Prithu Maharaj because they've seen he has done so well. And they want to speak to him. And Prithu Maharaj, of course, he wants to honor them as wonderful guests, of course. And so he worships them himself. Hare Krishna. Very nice. And so, yes, and then Sanat Kumara speaks to him because Prithu Maharaj asks some questions. Jai Shri Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Srimad Bhagavan Ki Jai. You remember the questions that he asks? No problem. We can go there. So that's text 13 of this chapter. Prithu Maharaj inquired from the sages about persons entangled in this dangerous material existence because of their previous actions. Now the question comes. Could such persons whose only aim is sense gratification be blessed by any good fortune? Very good. And then he said, yes. Yes, this is the question basically. Yes. Sorry, I'm checking all the verses of the... Yeah. Here it is. 15. Yes, thank you. Very kind. In fact, I thought, okay, there is another one. The other part is on verse 15. And the second part, Prithu Maharaj says, I therefore ask you how in this material world we can very soon achieve the ultimate goal of life. Yes, Shakespeare would say, this is the question. Right? Very nice. So, the answer is in detail, of course. And we are here in verse 31. And yes, and then you see that... so now I have all the verses here. That's very interesting. Very nice. Okay, so I will read it again because I love it. When one deviates from his original consciousness, he loses the capacity to remember his previous position or recognize his present one. When remembrance is lost, all knowledge acquired is based on a false foundation. When this occurs, learned scholars consider that the soul is lost. So this verse has so many topics. We try our best. Because, I will follow the train of thought of Maharaj, Dhanavir Goswami Maharaj. Because it's really speaking about the soul. It takes as the main point. He said, the soul is never asleep and never dies. So the verse is a bit, verse says, learned scholars consider that the soul is lost. Okay. Maharaj explains that when the soul is overcome by ignorance, then even this action that is the quality of the soul, the soul is always active, this appears not to be there. But the soul is always active, and we find also a beautiful explanation from Srila Prabhupada in the purport to the second verse of 9th chapter in Bhagavad Gita. The soul is always active. Yes. So, but there is this situation when it's covered by ignorance, then the activity doesn't appear to be there. Maharaj then speaks about the different stages of consciousness, because this is important for us to understand. And yesterday I also was listening to Srila Prabhupada's amazing class he gave on the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 17th verse. He speaks about these stages, these 3 stages of consciousness. I don't know if you've heard of the 3 stages of consciousness. No? Stages? No? Okay. Very good. Yes. Very good. Very good. Yeah, those are those. Yes. Jagarti, Svapna, and Shushupti. These are the 3. Yes. Well done. Very good. Yes. So one stage is awake. We are awake, fully active. Yeah. Tell me that. Yes. Yeah. No, we are. Yes. Then the other one is Svapna. Svapna is sleep, asleep. And the third is Shushupti. Correct me if I'm saying something. Okay, should be like this. And that is deep sleep. Deep sleep, level of unconsciousness. Okay. So this is sleeping, but it is not for the soul. The sleeping is for the body, mainly, and the mind. Hopefully, in the deep sleep, the mind also quiets down. In this state, Maharaj was explaining that actually, what actually happens is that the soul in this situation, in the deep sleep and sleep, but especially in the deep sleep, from what I understood, is put in a state of forgetfulness. And in that state, he forgets himself. And this, of course, when I I heard this, I was thinking about the famous verse 15:15 of Bhagavad Gita. I am remembrance and I am forgetfulness, says Krishna. Let's find a verse. Why not? Because, yeah, I cannot quote verbatim, so at least I can read. Beautiful. Yes, our Mariana was reciting the verse Sarvasya Chaham Ridi Sannivisto. Beautiful. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. We could do a lesson Yeah. Why not? Why not? No problem. No problem. It's more my style. I have to be honest. It's a bit strange for me. But okay, we do like this. No problem. Okay. So yeah, the thing is, of course, forgetfulness. Explains Maharaj explains. It's not that the soul is unconscious, but it's the consciousness in that particular time that is affected by forgetfulness. And so the consciousness forgets its active state. Okay, and now that's a very nice point Maharaj makes. In modern education, we are not taught about the soul, isn't it? I tell you, we are taught all sorts of things, but but not about the soul, and we miss a very crucial point. Because, for example, yes, you were speaking about managing or talking about sociology, that if you have a social order, but you don't know the constituent parts of the body of a person, how are you going to try to organize a whole, government, a whole, all citizens, So he was giving the example of the mechanic. We have our Madhu Shrestha Prabhu. We can glorify him. He really does a very nice job, because when we have problems with the car, he knows how the car is made, isn't it? He knows all the components of the car. And of course, there can be the situation where, okay, that's a little mystery. But, in general, then, okay, thinking about all the components, they are able to repair the car. Yeah, that's the idea. So the problem, though, is that in the, this is a metaphor for the car, but if we think about ourselves, our education, is based on the body. We are the body, that's the mantra. No, no, we don't want this. Actually, Maharaj says this is the problem, and I very much agree. I think about, just now, personally speaking, about my education, university education. Really, I actually am a bit in a denial sometimes. I'm like, no, I never went. I never. As a veterinarian, yes. And it's like 5 years plus 1 in my case, because it took me more. It was very, intense, let's say. Let's put it like that. But it's all based on, this body, or you are this mind, especially. So if you are not able to achieve a level of, Gosh, I remember how much we studied, and it was a lot of memorization, like imagine anatomy. It's all about learning names. So it's about learning names, and really, it's at that time, if I had a little idea that okay, I'm not this mind, that would have helped me a lot. Because I would be okay, Krishna, I would be more realistically thinking, okay, this is a difficult process, but if you want me to, I will be able to achieve this graduation. But I can do it now, why not? Of course, he allowed me to finish. And yes, so yes, Maharaj was really pointing out that thinking that we are the body or the mind is the root cause of all problems in the world. Because it's like in mathematics, I'm looking at Brian, or I think he understands also when we speak about university education. But, in mathematics, if you, of course, if you start your algorithm and you do 2 plus 2 equals 3, then everything else will be wrong. If the mistake is first there, then everything will be incorrect, yeah? Can we say that? Yes. This I loved. When Maharaj spoke about this, I was like, yes. So true, right? Very true for me, definitely. And thinking that we are this body and this mind, a lot of pressure also is there. We think, unfortunately, we are the controller and the enjoyer. And this really, puts us on the wrong step. So, yes, this verse is also about the soul, of course. So it's not about the body. We were saying, no, that's the first wrong thing we do. The big mistake we take is we are this body. But then, okay, now we are here. And at some point, like Prithu Maharaj inquires, we, in our very, very lower situation, we are asked, okay, and then who am I? In any case, who am I? What am I doing here? What's the goal of life? And so, yeah, we had to start from the beginning. We are not this body. That's what we heard from Srila Prabhupada. And he says, so if we are not this body, what are we? Oh, wow. Somebody says we are chemicals. Okay. Somebody says we are the soul. Okay. Well, yes. Okay. Yeah, one of the very core questions I had in my time as a veterinarian, because you get into, personally, I'm still, somehow analyzing why I went to do this sort of, because it's an intense journey. And it starts really from my childhood. I always was fascinated by animals. I still am, of course. I really deeply have fascination because they have different bodies from us. That was mainly my fascination, yeah? And so really to interact with them, to be with them, even if we are different, was very, to me, very heartwarming. And that we could have a relationship, despite our very gross differences, like a little cat, dog, cow. But we could be all, we can really be, well, we can even say friends, we can understand each other. Of course, we can take care of them because it's our duty. This I understood since I was little. But you know what? In my tradition, I was brought up Catholic. So I remember I asked this question to my parents. So, do the animals have a soul? Simple question, isn't it? Look, for me, it was very clear that it was a yes in any case. But I was curious to ask them. So my mom was saying, yes, they do have a soul. It was very clear to her as well. She couldn't tell from the scriptures. But for her, they really were little persons in a way. They had their own personality, their own consciousness. And for her, this was enough to say, oh yes, they have a soul. My father said no. They said no. And this is a point actually, now perhaps he has changed his mind. Yeah, but we don't know. I will ask him again. But this, of course, was very confusing to me. I was like, okay, I have to get deeper in this research, right? But actually, the philosophers, many Western philosophers, they argue that animals don't have immortal souls. This comes especially from St. Thomas Aquinas. And he built on Christian theology from Aristotle as well. So no, I don't want to go too much in the detail of, but according to the philosophy that they were building, Thomas Aquinas especially saw that animals could have a sensitive soul, but not a rational soul like the humans. While humans can, the soul of the humans could live, this is the philosophy, could live after the body is dead. The animals, no, they die and they don't have a soul, so the soul doesn't live. So, okay, so I'm just saying where I was in this situation. Okay, so I understood that my father was saying no, because this is the philosophy behind. Yes, so you understand? Yeah. Okay, this said, this was the big, let's say, confusion moment for me, and also it was my chance to, okay, now I need to figure it out better. I need to ask. And then here we are. Here we are, and we know now that, of course, the Vaishnava philosophy, the teachings from our acharyas are very clear, and the characteristics of the souls are very, very, very clear. In the purport to this verse, it's so clear. Srila Prabhupada says, according to less intelligent philosophers, animals have no soul. But factually, animals have souls. So, I was like, okay. And, this, of course, is up to us to really, of course, intellectually we understand it. Yeah, intellectually. We need to I'm telling myself, basically, I need to understand it, also practicing this principle. Okay. So if all living entities have a soul, then they are all parts and parcel of Krishna. Clear. And they deserve to be taken care of and to be respected. Of course, not to be eaten. Or mistreated. So then it's very simple. This, I'm coming back to what Maharaj says. There is a soul in everybody. Who is the driver? And how big is this soul? You remember? Is it very big? Is it small? Okay. Yes, it's 1/10,000th of the tip of a hair. Very, very tiny. Very tiny. We find it in Charitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 1939. This is stated, and also in other parts of the scriptures. So this very, very tiny soul enters a body and it gives it life. Yes, we were reading the purport. That is the difference between a living body and a dead body, says Srila Prabhupada. Without the soul, a body cannot move. Okay. So, if the body, then the body is, Srila Prabhupada says, the body is enlivened by this consciousness, which is the soul, and the machine can work. We can hear, we can produce, eat, we can speak, and this is not possible only by matter. Yeah. So, another point then is that Srila Prabhupada speaks in the purport is that when this consciousness, though, is misguided and one is put in the material atmosphere, one thinks that is a product of the material elements. Yes, see? We think about, we are the matter, we are product of matter, we are chemicals. Because we came here. And one loses his real remembrance of his position as a part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes, please, question. A microphone you have? No, please. It's behind you. Look. Don't be shy. It's very important. Actually, it's time for questions. Why not?
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the class. So, there is this discussion in the I don't know, I guess scientific or sociology or psychology even cycles, that if we are a product of our nature or nurture, so this purport somehow matches with this, that we're just a product of our environment. But in the spiritual text, we also learn about karma, and this is a result of previous actions and so on. This is more complicated than just a result of and free will, and how much are we in control of our behavior or whatever.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a very nice point. I don't know if you wanted to make a question about. Yeah.
It was more like maybe in relation to that. Maybe you want to
Of course.
say something.
Yes, nature and nurture. So of course, yes. So this is a very nice question. So are we the product of our environment, family, education? Thank you. Also our body, how it is, So this is basically this life, this life, this body, This is the Western psychology. This is the idea of the Western psychology. So if there are traumas, for example, they usually come from childhood in this lifetime. Yes, or other situations that happened in this life. Or, if we have certain conditionments, this comes from the education in this life. The Eastern philosophy and the ancient texts of the Vedas, of course, teach us about karma, reincarnation, which means that this subtle body in particular carries the soul to another body. So there are lots of impressions there stored in this subtle body that will be carried in the life we are now. Yes, so of course, much more complicated situation. Yes, of course, because if we have impressions of previous lives, we need to work deeper, not only on the surface level of this lifetime. This can be very, can take some time. But, well, to me personally, this makes a lot of sense. And we can see, sometimes some situations are not so simple, And, well, I'm thinking about also some nice, situation that the devotees witnessed. Also in the body of animals, cows or dogs, there are some that are so attracted to the holy name, isn't it? You heard the stories of the cows that were coming for class, right? It was sitting in the temple. The cat today? They did. We can invite them, when the weather gets better, of course. Yes, the very nice book from Janandana Maharaj. And, this, we cannot just, discard as, oh yeah, it's very cute, they're coming for class. And no, wait a second, hold on. If we really believe that these are spirit souls, no, they have a natural attraction and affinity. And, this is another very nice point that Dhanavir Maharaj speaks about. It's not that, this modern science says that animals have no soul, yeah? That's what they say. They would better say, Maharaj says, animals have no higher intelligence. That's the correct statement. They don't have the higher capacity to understand spiritual topics. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they don't have a soul. And in some situations we've seen, they're very attracted to hearing the holy name, taking prasad. Tell me about it. They love it. Yeah. And even if they don't eat gulab jamuns, I don't know what, they like maha water, for example. I like to give maha water. I think it's very important for them, and they're very, very attracted to that. So they don't have developed in this body a higher intelligence, so they cannot inquire like a human being about the soul, about who we are, goal of life. But they can definitely, make progress in their spiritual life. Why not? And if we can help in some way, yeah, that's very nice. Now you will look at the cats in a different way. I hope so. Yeah, that was fun. I will tell you about Chakra and Shankar because it was my great honor to have them a little bit, to host them for a week. They were, the Chakra and Shankar. Yes, they were at my place, the place where I am. And, they were recovering from their operation, their surgery. And they were so interested to see Goranitai. Oh, yeah. They wanted to see Goranitai and be there, And they were so good behaved, Because at the beginning I was a bit hesitant. Okay, let me see. They're going to jump around. I don't know, But no. They were so sweet. And just looking at the altar and just laying down there in front of the altar very respectfully. These are special souls. They're here to serve Lord Narasimhadev in their capacity. Yes, why not? So I was thinking, how can I say I'm serving better than them, Lord Narasimhadev? I cannot say it. Because they're doing a very nice job, in their nature, in their, they're very, yes. So, of course, we can think about them also as how can we help them progress in their spiritual life, helping them doing their job. And maybe some maha water is nice every now and then to give them some maha water, why not? Itself in them. Yes, so check them out. It's I really like to spend time with them. But of course, yes, I can see also that we cannot speak philosophy. But we can have a different relationship. Very good. So I think it's good. Thank you so much. Questions, yeah? Comments? Correction, please.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Krishna. Thank you, Anuttara Mataji, for the class, or Anuttara Prabhu for the class. The question, the verse is about that the soul is lost. And Prabhupada also speaks of this, right? That actually it is like the humans, or they are like lost, like the soul is lost. And you also spoke about the 3 types of consciousness, sort of awake, sleeping, and deep sleep. And often we speak about that, the sleep, okay, you sleep or you're in a deeper sleep. But if in terms of the fact of the soul being lost, is this a question of a human being, so to say, technically awake, yes, but actually in all of their thoughts and feelings, their way of life, it's like they are asleep. This is what the Sankirtan devotees meet on the street. It's what many of us will meet when we go working. Like, could you speak a little?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yes, very nice. So as really Dhanaveer Goswami enlightened me personally, it's not the soul that is lost as Atman, but it's the consciousness of the soul, being aware that we are spirit soul, And in the present time, yes, Srila Prabhupada described humans as two-legged animals. I don't know if you've heard this, right? Because they are in this state of ignorance, and they don't know the importance of the soul. And they use this word soul incorrectly. Yeah, they don't know really the meaning, yeah, as we were saying, they say also the animals don't have a soul, right? But if they knew that soul is consciousness, animates the body, is ever existing and cannot be killed, or very nice, thank you. Yes, they're telling me the qualities of the soul. Very nice. Then, okay, something would change. And, so the Sankirtan devotees, well, glorification to their amazing work, because that's they're trying to tell them this, basically. They really want them to read this amazing literature from our founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, because, they have all the chance to get out of this deep sleep state. Please. Jeev Jago, beautiful. Jeev Jago, wake up. Wake up, sleeping soul. Yes, this is our fortune. If we meet a devotee of the Lord, then we can slowly but surely. I hope I answer a little bit, yeah? Yeah, it was about the lost, no? That's a concept. Being lost.
Hello. I wonder also how, in reference to ourselves, we also can be like that, because, obviously we are on our own journeys and we talk about our struggles also on a devotional path. And sometimes, I do wonder if it's just because I'm, what do we read? Dim-witted. The people of Kali Yuga, dim-witted. We were, when Marianne and Alakana and Heidi began with the Srimad Bhagavatam reading this week, it was this, the people of Kali Yuga. And somehow, it's like, am I awake or am I just like moving, but actually the consciousness is asleep. If my consciousness was really alive, or my soul was, I was connected to who I really am, so to say, then would I not be, would it not be a bit different sometimes, but somehow one can relate to the soul being lost, also, as you say, the consciousness being lost, right?
Thank you. Wow, it's a nice contribution. Thank you so much. I don't know if I can answer. I mean, in the sense that I feel this is your deep inquiry. Yeah, and it's also our, yes, we can share this inquiry deep down, of course. And personally, what helps me is thinking where I was, where I was before, really lost, but deeply lost. Really lost in the forest of material life. But somehow now it's much better. Now I feel like, I have a connection. And even if I get again lost in the forest, because I cannot say, I'm totally realized, of course. But, I have at the pool, somebody can pull me. This is the parampara, yes, spiritual master. Through the parampara, they will totally come, I can see my spiritual master coming and knocking. What's going on? So, in this sense, there is, yes, a big faith that, okay, of course, I cannot just give up my duty to, no, it's gonna be fine, No, I have to take care of it personally, of course, for my capacity. And that is what we can do personally, individually. Yeah. Just carry on inquiring. Who am I? What is my mind? How does my mind work? My personality. Yes, these are very, very nice. Long. It takes a long time, of course, but very important questions. Please.
I would like to share this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam.
Thank you. Very nice.
Canto 3, the status quo, chapter 12, creation of the Kumaras and others. So it's verse 2. Brahma first created the nascent engagements like self-deception, the sense of death, anger after frustration, the sense of false ownership, and the illusory bodily conception or forgetfulness of one's real identity. So, yeah, this forgetfulness of our identity is part of our design, kind of, or else we wouldn't come to this material world.
Yeah.
So we're made to forget by Brahma. Yeah. No, but yeah, as in other verses, like the only way is to do devotion, pure unalloyed devotional service, unmotivated and continuous. What was it? Yeah.
Okay, so we have the problem and we have the solution.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Very participated class. I love it. Thank you again. Jai. And now let's do service with prasada.